What it is, what is up, what is good, gamers? This is Shonen of 71, aka Digadulamite.
Purple bling bling, y'all.
And your auditory canals are tuned into episode 302 of the Gaming Vessels podcast. And as usual, I'm not in the digital studio alone. Along with me, got my partners in crime first on deck. We got Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the High Res Lover.
That's me.
A.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. that Gamer Stepdaddy. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. Had a nice restful weekend. Had a nice restful day. It's been nice. Just chilling, enjoying the weather. If you're not outside, please go outside, touch some grass. I hope that you are at a beach or at a park listening to this and enjoying the weather out there. It's beautiful. It's very gorgeous. So I hope it's really nice where you are.
I haven't even walked out the door today, so.
Well, neither have I, but still, I look out the windows and it's nice. So.
Oh, there you go.
Window shopping the weather.
Exactly. Looks nice outside. I'm gonna lay back down.
Boy. Of course, our show was a no-go without Trader Joe, a.k.a. Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of Gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. What's going on?
Not much, man. It's been a decent 2 weeks, just kind of plugging away. Trying to stay away from buying frivolous things, but you know how that goes. So I've been hovering over Target every Monday trying to buy Death Stranding 2 for some reason. So right now it's at 30% off at a particular location. Since you're listening to this podcast, I will reveal the location. It's the Target in River Park, but leave me a copy, please. So yeah, I'm waiting for it to at least go 50% before I possibly pick it up and then hold on to it. Because once it gets 70%, I'll either get a price adjustment or I'll see what I could do from there. So.
Okay.
Yeah, but otherwise, now everything's good. I'm just kind of plugging away. I just had some company yesterday. I had John BT come and visit. So I had lunch with him. He was in Fresno from Nashville. So yeah, he decided that because his mom moved back here to Fresno, that she had a car in Nashville that he was going to have to pay, I think, $3,500 to move. They have someone move it from Nashville to Fresno, and so he just decided, hey, let me just get in the car, drive it, and do it that way. So he took his daughter on Route 66 and drove cross country. So
okay,
kind of cool.
So that's neat.
It is pretty cool.
I've never driven cross country. I don't know if you guys, but
I have. It's overrated. Yeah, I've done it. I've done it 3 times. Twice for college, and once for I would hate to call it a vacation. It was because it really wasn't. It was taking my grandmother back home to Tennessee after my dad passed away. So yeah, I've done it about 3 times, and yeah, it's extremely overrated. You do meet some very interesting people along the way. Like I met a serial killer who I'm certain this dude has killed people before. He was the night watchman. I don't know if or groundskeeper of this hotel, and this was when we were taking my grandmother back to Tennessee, and I don't even remember what state we were in, but it was raining, it was storming, the power had gone out in part of the city, and we pull up into this hotel, and the guy, after we checked in, the guy was just when you think of a stereotype of a serial killer in a movie, That was this guy. He had the black trench coat / raincoat on. He was kind of tall. Um, he just kind of fit the stereotype. And as he's carrying our bags to our room, he kept saying out loud, he says, I really love the rain. It just washes all the scum down the gutter. Like literally like that.
Go on,
And
Punisher.
he kept repeating that like constantly. So it was funny. I had my dad's Beretta, and I didn't sleep that night because I was sure this dude was going to come crashing through the door and try to kill us. But yeah, you meet some interesting folks. But yeah, the experience itself, highly overrated. Highly overrated. But anyway,
Who
traveling
knows?
traumas aside,
Maybe I'll have a Gaming Vessels RV trip after I retire. We'll
There you go.
me, you, and
I
Kev.
ain't
We'll
going.
all. Oh, you're not going?
I ain't
Oh
going.
man.
Nah,
Oh,
I'm good.
oh.
Y'all, I will, whatever city y'all are in, I'll just fly there. Cause yeah, I'm good. I am all the way good.
Oh, okay. I would have taken like the bottom bunk anyway, so it's all good.
So, of course, folks, we're going to start this show with what is always our first topic on the docket. We got the playlist dropping right now. So let's kick things off with Jabroni. What you been playing this past couple of weeks?
It's been kind of good as far as, my usuals, of course. Been playing, obviously, a lot of Diablo 4. I know Des told me that basically I'm too overpowered now, so I'm going to have to beat the campaign on my own. I've been abandoned. And
Diablo 4? No, I didn't.
Yeah,
That
Diablo
was
4.
no, not in Diablo 4. It's just in Borderlands.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Diablo 4 the other day.
No, no, just Borderlands. No, we can still
Oh.
play. I mean, it's just. I mean, we have to. We didn't finish. I mean, the seasonal content has changed. So if we want to do the seasonal stuff, we have to create new characters and start over, which is fine. I have no problem doing that. It's just if we want to continue the campaign, we have to use our non-seasonal characters, which is fine. That doesn't matter either. So
yeah, I kind of converted my seasonal character to a non-seasonal character. I was amazed that I got a lot more of points for the Paragon board and more XP. So
yeah,
kind of cool.
So I'm down to play more. It's so we can definitely do. We definitely beat the. I definitely want to beat the what is it? The Lord of Hatred, the first one before the
Vessel of Hatred. Yeah, Vessel of Hatred.
Yeah, I want to beat Vessel of Hatred before we do Lord of Hatred.
I was thinking you told me the other day when I was playing Diablo 4 and says, "Oh no, you're too overpowered," like you were telling me all this other stuff. So I thought you were talking about Diablo. So
no, it's because you were all talking about Borderlands and how sad you were because you're fighting something in Borderlands, and maybe not sad, but it was like over so quickly, and I'm like, well, there you go,
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Borderlands is kind of getting ridiculous a little bit for me. So ridiculous in like a good way, but it was just literally. I've been whacking away at the campaign. I'm in the inner city now. I think Kevin's familiar with the inner city where the timekeeper's at. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm like about. If you're going to look at the entirety of the inner city as a circle, I'm like basically just finishing up the top half of the circle and making my way basically down to get some, more side missions and points on the map and clearing them if need be. What I sometimes do is when I'm like playing, I'll basically pick up just the good loot and then throw it into my bank. And every so often, I kind of go back to the sanctuary point on the map. There's a crash sanctuary ship from Borderlands 3 that's like on the most like eastern part of the map. There's like basically a shooting range, like somewhere I could go out there and like test weapons and kind of give an idea. So usually what I do is every so often, like, I'll go out there, go through my bank, take out whatever I'm going to take out, test what I found in the bank, and so on and so forth. So I was like out by Sanctuary on Friday night, and I was like just going through my vault, and for whatever reason, I looked in the distance, beyond the place where Sanctuary is at, and I see like a glowing enemy out there, out yonder. It was like a crawler, like a beast basically, and I saw he was glowing, and he was like a loot crawler. So lo and behold, I went ahead on that Friday night, shot up this couple of beasts, got some like exotic / legendary gear in Borderlands. Usually because when you pop it, it shows a star on the map and whatnot. And so I was like, okay, man, this is great. So I pretty much, it was Friday night when I was playing that, I pretty much filed away my exotic legendary loot. Basically, I just decided, okay, I'm going to go through this tomorrow, whatnot. So tomorrow, like last night, basically, I signed on the Borderlands again. And then, of course, it's like going through my vault. I decided to go ahead and go out in the field to test the weapon. And guess what? There was like more loot enemies out in the field. So literally I was like sitting there and it's like, it's just nuts. It kind of reminded me of the honey hole back in Destiny 1, if you remember that, the cave.
Yeah.
But this was a lot more fruitful. Imagine them playing like Diablo when you're just getting nothing but treasure goblins popping up. This was the same sensation I had for Borderlands 4. So I kept going on. I was like, why is this happening? I was like, okay, I'm going to keep moving along in the region. And the region, basically, all the enemies were loot enemies, meaning that they're all powered and basically were giving loot for the entirety of the time. And so I was just sitting there just like, me. It's like, just like, picking these off the ground, sending them to my bank, going back to the bank, going back out, picking up more of these off the ground. So I have more exotics in my bank than one would never have in this game. So, and I'm
Was
already
this like a special event?
No, it was just something that happened. I have no idea. No special event, not advertised. I don't know why, but
Joe he's been getting that stuff.
I don't know. Maybe I broke the game. I have no idea. So I was thinking about going to the Borderlands Discord and seeing if anyone's going through this at all. But I was tempted to call Christian in or anyone else that's still playing the game. Because, if you join my game, hell, you'd be able to like lap it up over here. It's like a pig and you know what. So, but I managed to sign on today, and I just decided, I said this, because I was up last night till 4 a.m. just sitting there. It's like, oh my God, I got to get more and more and more, sitting there grabbing all this loot on there.
With a rebel yell.
Yeah, with a rebel yell.
Tried more and more. Okay.
So part of my session today, I signed on Borderlands, of course, and I'm just starting to go through my loot. So I literally have 500 slots in my bank, and almost every slot in my bank is full of exotics and legendaries. So,
maybe if stuff like that would have happened to me, I would have enjoyed the game a little bit more. But it's just like that game became a job.
And you are not.
I already got 2 jobs. I ain't trying to pick up a third. So I that's why I was like, yeah, let me wrap this up. Well, I'm glad you're having fun with it, though.
Oh, I'm having fun because it's just more of the minutia of me. It's like I go in and I'll fight a boss, and literally it's like 10, 15 seconds, he's gone. So it's like,
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, hey, but you're having fun.
Oh, once I beat the game, once I hit the legendary tier, I'm kind of curious as far as how much the difficulty is going to ramp up. I know the first DLC is coming out in 2 weeks, so I'm trying to see if I could get that wrapped up by then. I might actually take a little break from it because I need to spread the wealth a little bit. So
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you see yourself replaying this game at some point in the future?
I will continue to play once the DLC campaigns come out, so I'll probably be keeping playing it for now on there. Once like all the DLC expansions end, I could maybe see going back to it every now and then. I know the latest DLC, they're introducing another character on there, so that's coming in. It's actual just a robot on there. I'm not sure what type of gameplay he has with him, but I do imagine that I'll probably be going back to this from time to time on there.
Okay.
I thought it'd be the same way with Borderlands 3, but Borderlands 4 has kind of satiated that. I almost feel like Borderlands 4 is just an extension of my playthrough of Borderlands 3 last year. So, and basically the feeling I was getting last night, getting these treasure goblins, these enemies that were just pulling just epic loot, kind of reminded me of me playing Arms Race, that like roguelike mode where it's like the Fortnite mode where I was going in and just basically battling to try to get loot at the end. It kind of gave me that kind of feeling playing that loop as well. So
that's cool. Okay, that's good.
I'm at 290 hours now, which is just Yep.
I wasn't going to say nothing, but damn.
Well, kind of reminds me, it gives me that same feeling from playing Destiny 1 back in the day, where it was a game that I kept playing and playing and playing. And we never really got too bored of it. Sometimes we just get kind of, how many times can you fight Omnigul, for God's sake? We did.
I think
I remember
the one thing about that stuff is we're doing it together. And I think,
yeah,
us hanging out together and playing games like that, that's an awesome feeling. So, and I can understand why, you want me to hang out and play with you and stuff like that. It's just, there's only so much though,
For sure. It's like I've taken it to the nth degree on this. So, but I'm looking forward to finishing the campaign, maybe take a little break and kind of consume all the DLC at one point and see what the DLC schedule is for future DLC episodes for Borderlands. I might even check out the new character if need be. So I'll kind of go and do that. But other than that, trying to finish Diablo 4. I also been playing Towerborn a little bit with Dez on here. I happen to play a little bit solo as well. Towerborn, if you didn't know, this is a side-scrolling action role-playing game. It's developed by Stoic, so the same company that did the Banner Saga on here. So it's very similar to every other game in its kind of genre, where it's you're going left to right, right to left, and you get to pick a character archetype, and you're able to switch back and forth. But it's basically just an action RPG brawler. So I don't think it's as complex as per se Absalom or anything like that. But there's not a roguelite.
I think it is.
Loop. I think it's a little bit more simplified. You think it's more?
No. I think you're not giving it its due. I think.
Okay.
No, seriously. I think it has the ability to be like that, given the amount of things you can add, augments you can add, the different type of additions to your weapons, your different move selects, and the type of moves that you have. No, I think we've just scratched the surface of it.
Got it. I've only played the very beginning of the game,
yeah.
So it's the point that I think maybe later on, especially because you keep gaining moves, you keep gaining different attacks in your moveset. So I'm assuming that's going to continue to ramp up if need be on here. I don't know if this is something you're interested in, Kev, or not, but you could play up to 3 players on this, so online. John BT came over yesterday, and I wound up playing 3-player Towerborn couch co-op, and it seemed like it was pretty good. One thing I did notice playing 3-player couch co-op is that I kind of at times lost my place where I'm at, where as far as keeping track of my character and whatnot, so kind of wish the game was a little bit better in that sense, but it's playing with the two guys that never played the game before and sitting there trying to get at it, so. But the game's pretty decent, pretty good. So it's something to where maybe we need to play a little bit more Dez, and for me to bite into it a little bit more and kind of understand it a little bit better and kind of get in there and see what kind of flavor it's bringing to the table. So
what's the name of the game again?
Towerborn.
Okay. I got that game confused with something else. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you don't know the story of the game, basically this was an Xbox Studios game that originally they were going to basically bring it out as a service game, and they're going to have like a lot of them, like the content drop, and you'd be able to pay for like content like costumes and so on and so forth. But they basically decided at some point to convert the game from a gas game to just a regular paid product on there. So it was in early access on both Xbox and also on Steam, but basically they circled back and they made it into just a complete game from beginning to end. Kind of similar to what Wayfinder went through, if you remember that game too as well, that had originally been developed as an MMO or like a massive multiplayer game, but had to scale down and just kind of go from there. So, but I'm not sure if you ever played this on Xbox, Kev, or not, but it's been on Xbox since 2024. So it's not per se a new game, but it's something to where the 1.0 just barely came out the end of February. So.
No, it's escaping me, so I don't think I've played it before.
Yeah, you
I
might
don't think
want
it
to.
had a lot of. I don't think it had a lot of fanfare. It kind
Yeah.
of was just sort of there, and people were playing it. And of course, it was. I hate to say it, but no, I don't hate to say it, but of course, it was like beta tested. And once that was done, yeah, for Xbox Live and all that stuff, then they released it. They released it here, and I think once they realized they didn't think that it would be, the gassiest of gas games, they're like, well, it's already completed. Let's just release it and see what happens. And I think that's why a lot of people don't know about it, and which I think is a disservice because it's a really fun game, and the story's kind of interesting, and so I've been enjoying it.
I'll continue to play for sure. I'm
Yeah.
probably going to go back and play some tonight too. So, but
Yeah, I probably will end up doing that as well.
I also played a little bit couch co-op. I played the Marvel Cosmic Invasion. I haven't played that game in a minute, so
good.
I checked my time played on the PlayStation dashboard, and it basically said I played it for 30 minutes. So it's a shame. So, but. It was kind of cool to play it co-op with John BT and our friend Randy as well. So I kind of got a chance to taste that little got out of the cupboard and take a little bite out of it. So, I got to stop feasting on Borderlands and vary up the gaming plate per se. So, but other than that, yeah, everything has been good the last couple of weeks. Did go see a movie. I saw Hoppers last night, so the Pixar movie on there. I'm not like the biggest Disney fan, but I do enjoy Pixar animated versus Disney animated movies and shorts and whatnot. And so yeah, this one was pretty funny. I think it was rated PG too. It's not just rated G, so it's like
it's the one where the human gets the brain transferred into a beaver or something.
Yeah, to a robotic beaver. Yeah,
Robo beaver. Okay,
Is that a beaver? I thought it was like a chipmunk or something.
Yeah, it's a robotic beaver. So, spoiler alert. Yeah, the plot line is that this 19-year-old girl is trying to save the nature out in the woodlands in her city area because of the fact that they're trying to build a freeway over it. And so, basically her goal was to sneak in. She saw that her professor at the university that she goes to school was working on some sort of technology to be able to go out there in the wild and be able to go ahead and try to integrate with the animal kingdom. And so basically once she hops into this robotic beaver, she's able to understand everything the animals are saying. So hilarity ensues from there. So
okay,
kind of crazy kind of premise for a movie, but hey, it's a cartoon, it's an animated movie. So it's like they kind of rolled the ball and went with it. So other than that, that's been the last couple of weeks. So,
all right, cool. Des, what you been up to?
Mainly, we talked about Towerborn pretty good, and that's what I've been playing. That's kind of been the game that I've been playing with Joe. And like we said, it's really worth checking out if you have, if you're thinking about it. It's $30. I think it's worth it for a nice little quality beat 'em up. And I definitely will be playing it more. What else have I been playing? That's a good question. The only other game I've been playing, and you probably won't be surprised by this, is Avowed. That game is great. Such a great game. I think it. I don't know why people did not like it or didn't think that it was cool or whatever. I've super enjoyed it, so I don't know why people are not liking it or not thinking that it was good or not. I honestly do not know. The game is great, and I've really been enjoying it. Spent about, I think, 15 hours on it now, and it's just been a lot of fun. And it's not like it's an open world, but it's one of those open worlds that it's like open world sections. So it's like a big section, and then you go off into a new section, and so I'm on to the next section of the world, and I'm assuming it's a different biome. It's probably a jungle-like biome on this island. You're on an island, and it's what I like about it is because it's still steeped in that sort of Pillars of Eternity lore, and the lore is really fun and interesting. It's I don't want to spoil anything, but they really kind of start asking you these sort of like philosophical questions, and about the island, and it's just a very interesting, it's a very interesting, somewhat thought-provoking story that I'm really enjoying. And your consequences do have actions. Sorry, your actions do have consequences. Sorry, and I've kind of come across them even in the first couple of hours, and it's been fun. It's really been fun. If you're looking for a game to pick up, you should pick it up. And if you're on the fence about it, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that you can just, wait or not worry about. So I know some people are like, well, I'm just gonna wait, or something, and that's fine. You don't have to, pick it up today or tomorrow. But it is definitely something that you should pick up and have in your wheelhouse, because it's a lot of fun. The game is a lot of fun. And I don't know. It's just been my game du jour right now, and I really believe that if you're looking for a really quality RPG done by people who know what they're doing and have a pretty good pedigree, definitely check this out. I think you'll enjoy it. But yeah, other than that, those are the only two games that I've really been playing. And this next week, I'm planning to get back involved in Diablo 4. That way, I can hang out and play that with Joe. And we're almost to the end of the Vessel of Hatred, and so I don't want to go cold on that for him, because I know he would cry and be all like, why are you going cold on it, Des? And I'd be like, okay, Joe, I'm not going to go cold on it, buddy. We're going to get this, and we're going to take care of this. He's going to be like, yay! And he's
Shut your mouth.
Like that. What?
Shut your mouth. No.
What? It's cute. You're going to be like the little Make-A-Wish kid. Be like,
oh my gosh.
Be like, thank you, Desmond. I'd be like, you're welcome, little Make-A-Wish kid.
Okay.
Mute his mic.
That's funny. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing. Got 17 hours in Avowed, so that should tell you, I'm probably going to end up about 17 hours, so 15 hours, so that probably means I'm going to beat it. So let's see. But other than that, Kev, what have you been up to, buddy?
So, I've been up to a couple of different things. Nothing, it sounds like a little bit is more than my usual list, but in reality, it not much. For the most part, I've been working. Been working on the business. I'm looking at an opportunity. I'm trying to debate whether or not I'm going to take part in it or not. I'll make my mind up about that in about a week or so. But on the gaming front, I picked up Resident Evil 9 Requiem. I can't remember if I talked about it last show or not, but I don't think I did. But yeah, I picked up Resident Evil. Great game. I am not very far in it. I just gained access to Leon, and yeah, the playing as Leon, and believe it or not, because I'm not a fan of stealth gameplay at all, playing as Grace has been a blast as well. Now, I haven't done a lot with Grace because, again, I'm still in the early parts of the game. You start off as her, then you play as Leon, and now I'm at the point where I think it's getting ready to transition back into Grace's gameplay. So, I know there's some things that she can do that I don't have access to yet, but graphics, pacing, setting of just what I've noticed at this early juncture in the game has just really been on point. And it's like, Capcom is cooking. That I have a feeling that's going to be like the slogan for gaming in this year. Capcom is cooking. Well, so Helldivers 2, been still playing that. That's kind of like my end of the day game. I have not got my Helldivers 2 mojo back yet, because I did step away from it for a while playing other stuff and just kind of being away from gaming altogether for the most part during my downtime. But I still love the game. I'm still getting my butt kicked. I'm fighting the automatons now. Before it was the squids. I hate fighting the squids. That is the one enemy that I wish if they got rid of it and just replaced them altogether with something else, I would not have complaint one about that. I've changed loadouts consistently, and I still get beat up. I mean, I get beat up by all the factions really, but the squids, it's just like I land, die, and it's like I really should just dial it back because I'm playing on suicide level across all factions, and I probably should just dial it back. But I don't know. There's just something fun about consistently challenging myself, trying to get to super hell dive and being able to solo all the factions. I'm just going to say all the two factions, the bugs and the bots. I don't really care about the Illuminate that much because they're my least favorite enemy. Also picked up Scott Pilgrim EX.
Oh, how's that? Like, I was playing it the other day, and I was like, "Ooh, I want to ask Kevin on the next show to see how he likes that."
It's okay, and I think it's a little RPG heavy than I would prefer.
Really?
In a beat 'em up. What I mean by that is it's kind of like it's like they want to be River City, and I'm saying River City / River City Girls, and they're trying to build on what they had in the first game, and they're just adding all these different elements, and that's all fine and good, but at the end of the day, what I want from a beat 'em up is a great art design and a neat combat system and a decent amount of combat expression. Meaning, I want my combos. I want a couple different. I want my crowd control moves. I want my single opponent moves, that type of stuff, like kind of like the Final Fight formula, for lack of a better term. This game, when you're playing solo, it makes you try different characters because different characters have different abilities. For example, there was this early on in the game. I'm early on in the game. I started out using this one character who's like what's his name? Raj. Raj. I'm that might be the wrong name for him, but he is like a necromancer type summoner type character. And I mean, and again, this is all if you're familiar with the Scott Pilgrim art style in the previous game, it's exactly like this. So smooth animation, bright colors. But I got to a point where I had to get there was a portal, because the whole thing is that Dark Scott, which is like this robot Scott Pilgrim from another dimension, has come in, kidnapped members of the band, and spread them through the multiverse, like a multiverse type. At least that's what I think is happening, because I have access to all the characters in the Scott Pilgrim band, because that's who you play as. So I'm like, well, if they're gone, how can I play with them? There might have been something that I missed in that introduction. But anyway, you get to a point where you have to go through this time warp back to the Stone Age and fight this variant of a band member. And I'm unfamiliar with the Scott Pilgrim universe, and I'm sure if I was more familiar with the characters, this would all make more sense. But I couldn't access the portal because I had to go back to the hub and pick the gal who Scott Pilgrim's in love with, because she has the hammer ability. Yeah, I had to go and pick her because I needed her hammer to smack a bomb into the ice that's blocking the portal entrance. And it's like, okay. I mean, the map is big, and the map layout is just like River City Girls, where it's like a whole bunch of squares and rectangles with lines connecting them. And as you traverse the map, you will see like points of interest, whether or not a route is blocked off, whether you have to meet some type of criteria to clear the way. It's that a lot of that, the stuff that River City Girls did. Honestly, I think River City Girls did it better because their city map was not just convoluted with stuff. This map is big. And if I'm constantly having to go back to the hub to get another character just so I can move forward, I don't need that in a 16-bit inspired beat 'em up. I mean, I respect what they're trying to do with it, and I respect the fact that they just didn't want to do Scott Pilgrim 1.5, and it's just like, okay, well, you're doing the same thing, but we're not going to change the formula too much. I respect what they're trying to do, but I'm an old school beat 'em up guy. It's like I don't want to have to. All I want to do is have combat expression and a lot of combos. I don't need to be switching characters and looking for the bomb machine pizza maker and grabbing the bomb from that after I beat the dudes that are trying to stop the pizza maker from doing what she's trying to do, and then walk the bomb back 3, 4, 5 screens back to where the warp hole is, and then having to switch back to Ramona, so because she's the one with the hammer, and then smack the bomb into the hammer with the hammer so I can blow up the ice that's blocking the portal, so I can go in and fight this dude who's related to somebody in the Scott Pilgrim universe, their ancestor who's riding a baby T-Rex. It's like I don't need all that. I just want to beat people up, you know. And I want to be able to express myself and learn the combo systems and see how I can get my combo counter up. And this is not that type of game. The combos are very simplistic. I call them dial a combo, like you hit somebody 3 times, and then that 4th hit, it's either like a finishing punch or a finishing kick, or that fourth that fourth button that you hit, if you hit square 4 times, that's like 4 attacks in succession, quick attacks in succession, and then you'll do like a roundhouse kick. With Raj, he summoned some type of monster or something to knock somebody, kind of like that finishing blow. If you hit triangles twice, then you do 2 hard attacks. So I guess that's for blocking people that are blocking you. You can start hitting the hard attack and you can break their guard. And then if you hit somebody 3 times and hit the circle button, that's like the grab. It's kind of like an auto grab. That's really all that there is. I mean, I've only played with Ramona and Raj, and they have the same combo structure, which is fine, but y'all are just basically doing the same. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a beat 'em up snob, so it's like every game has to meet up with something like Fight and Rage or Streets of Rage 4 or River City Girls 1 and 2. That's like, or even like something like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. That's the level of retro inspired beat 'em up that I need these games to fall under. And unfortunately, just for me, Scott Pilgrim doesn't hit that. And maybe it will as I play through it, but I just really haven't been inspired to go back to it, and that I find that disappointing. I don't know if it's because. No, I don't think it has anything to do with because I'm unfamiliar with the IP. It's like I wasn't familiar with the IP in the first one, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But it wasn't. I feel like this second one is just trying to do way too much. So,
kind of a lot more RPG-ish, as far
it
as
is, it is, and that's not really what I need from a beat 'em up. Having to go back and get a bomb and I just want to beat shit up. The other game that I played was this. There's this game that I hadn't heard of, and I just happened to see it happened to pop up in my YouTube feed. So this is a game called Trail Out, and it's from, I think the studio's name is Good Boy Games, Good Boy Studios, something like that. So basically, we're in a gaming environment where MotorStorm and like a Burnout do not exist. If you could mix MotorStorm and Burnout and add a little bit of Grid 3 and then wrap it up in a bugbear driving physics-based arcade system, that's what Trail Out is. It is an arcade racer that's probably not going to appeal to a whole lot of people, but it appeals to me even with its flaws. So it is a story-based arcade racer. You're a dude, you're from some Eastern European country, and you escape war, and they tell you what you were doing. I think you were like running weapons or something to the rebellion and in that area. And anyway, you got out and you made your way to the States, and you're down on your luck. So you're trying to figure out what you need to do because you're homeless. And in this world, there is this coast to coast event called Trail Out. And basically, Trail Out is just, like I said, it's MotorStorm, Burnout, and I guess you could throw in Twisted Metal for shits and giggles, because they have you do some of the weirdest, craziest, like Death Race 2000 type stuff I've seen in the game, and it's pretty dope. Like you'll be on a race, and for no reason, a C-130 will be flying above you and just start lobbing missiles down at the drivers, just for no reason. And you just you have to dodge the explosions. You have to knock your opponents into explosions to take them out of the race. You have to what's the other? There is they call it the bomb derby, where there is a bomb is placed on a random car, and then if it's on your car, you have to smack into somebody else to put the bomb on them. And out of the eight competitors in the mode, you're trying to be in the top 3 to be able to progress forward. There's your traditional race, point to point race. And like I was playing last night, and I don't even know what happened. I think somebody smacked a support beam. We're racing in the desert, and there's this giant satellite dish that gets knocked off its support, and this thing is just rolling just through the course, man, like causing all kinds of havoc. It's crushing cars in front of me, blowing stuff up, knocking people that are observing the race, sending them flying. It is chaos on screen. And this game would be perfect if it wasn't for the Bugbear inspired control system. And what do I mean by that? Okay. So if you're familiar with games like, what was that
Wreckage?
Huh?
Wreckage and
Flat Out. Flat Out in particular, if you're familiar with the Flat Out series, Flat Out is fun, but it is rubber band heavy. Flat Out is fun, but if you make a wrong turn during a race, you might as well just restart. You'll never catch up. But the physics that it has are hilarious and fun. Assuming that, and I think it's an acquired taste. Just know that if you're playing a Bugbear game, you're going to have to hit the restart button fairly often, because once you fall behind, you ain't catching up. In Trail Out, it's the same thing. It's almost as if they copied and pasted the Bugbear driving mechanics to this game, but they didn't do it. They did it in a way that makes an already imperfect aspect of that type of arcade racer even slightly more flawed. And what I mean by that is when you're in groups of cars, and there's always 8 or more cars on a race. There are the 8 main characters of the story that you're competing against. Story is that you have to overthrow each one to become king of the Trail Out, and that's how you're trying to make your mark on the world. And then there's some races have a few other, NPC, non-mentioned, non-story critical racers, just there to be there. When you're in groups of cars, inevitably what's going to happen is that you are going to be pit maneuvered, meaning that the way it's done is that if somebody hits you in your flank, either on your driver's side or passenger side in the rear, it's going to cause you to lose control of your steering temporarily, and you're going to go catty corner and lose control and crash into something. And if you've watched Cops, they do it all the time. So I get it. The problem is that any contact, not just from the rear, is likely to send you into a pit maneuver. If they're at your side, if they hit you in the front of the car, if you get hit, if it's a head-on collision, you wind up in a pit maneuver. And that is like the most frustrating part of what otherwise would be like a damn near perfect arcade racer, in my opinion. It's that. On top of it is not as rubber bandy as a Bugbear game, because I've been down to last place in several races, and on the last lap I'm able to make up. I mean, there are points where it's like, you know that you're not going to be able to catch up, so then you can just hit the restart button. But the rubber banding is not as bad as that, but it's when you're in a group and the tracks are not wide. They want you to be in a group because they want you to feel the whole trade. You're trading paint. You're driving through barns. You're driving through buildings. Like there's one track where you drive through a mall and people are on the track there because there's people there and they're fans of Trail Out. So they'll be out in the middle of the freaking road and they'll be trying to take selfies and all this other stuff. And you can run them over. It's like, like when that satellite dish rolled through, there's like this rock bridge that it crashed in, and there was like a whole bunch of people on there that it just boom, and you just see people flying everywhere. I don't think it's one of those things where people don't really die. They just it just looks like they did. So it is zany, absolutely zany and crazy and fun. But it just has like a handful of these shortcomings that kind of keep it from hitting that pinnacle. I think if those couple of things would have been addressed, this could have been a burnout level arcade racer. I honestly believe it's that fun. Another thing that I find interesting about it is that it uses real world cars, but they're called something completely different. They got straight up Toyota Supras, Honda Accords, Mustangs, Camaros, Volkswagens, but they call them something completely different. I guess that's how they get around it. But it's like when you look at the car, like I have a car called an Olga. It's a Nissan Z. There's no way to not call it that, but they call it an Olga, or what you get. One of the other cars that I've opened up is like a Gran Torino, and they call it, what do they call it? The old man. They just have like all these weird names for these real world cars. And it's kind of funny the way you get cars, because as cars open up to you, it's like you're based out of a junkyard. So all the cars that you get are just, rusted out husks. So it's like, okay, let me get the Olga, let me get the Nissan Z. So you buy it and you're buying the rusted out frame. And then you have to, using the money that you've earned in races, it's like, okay, what kind of body do I want for it? Do I want this to be like my rally car? Do I want it to be my street racer? Do I want this to be a derby car where I'm, doing demolitions type stuff? That decides what the body looks like. So it's going to have like a whole bunch of cages and rails all over it, like if you're doing derby style, or is it going to look more like a traditional car? You've got different paint jobs, which don't do a whole lot, but then that opens up suspensions. And when I say, you're not making minute adjustments. You want the stock suspension, the street suspension or the professional suspension. You only get 3 selections. They ain't trying to be, Forza Horizon or Gran Turismo in this. So if you're trying if you think you're going to be able to adjust your oversteer, understeer, tire pressure, it ain't like that. It's a straight up arcade. But it's kind of funny that you're using like these burnt out husks. That's how you get your cars. You just have to restore them. And I think that's kind of dope. It is that I think the first DLC is already out, and it's it's kind of like Fast and the Furious. You're in Tokyo, and I think it's going to open up a whole bunch of other cars, and you'll be racing in a whole different area. That DLC is only $5 right now, and I'm thinking real seriously about picking it up, even though I haven't even come close to finishing the main game. Trail Out, I didn't even see it coming. I hadn't even heard of it. I hadn't seen any. It's got almost zero marketing. It is flawed, but it's arcade racing on crack. It's just a blast to play. So I can't recommend it higher, even with the flaws that it does have. If you're looking for something graphically impressive, this ain't it. If you're looking for an in-depth story, this ain't it. But if you're looking for something that is just going to, even when you mess up or even when you're cheated, like literally, on one of the races that I was doing, I drove over a fire hydrant, and the water pressure boosted my car like all the way to the end of the road, and I crashed into a building. Now I was in first place and I lost, but the fact that happened, I just couldn't stop smiling. It weird stuff like that happens all the time. Elimination races where there's a C-130 lobbing missiles at whoever's in last place. Bombs going off on bridges just because. And if you're on the bridge, oh well, that's the too bad, so sad. It is, and I haven't even unlocked all the modes, the race modes that are in this game. So, this game is super dope.
I might pick this up.
I think it's like $30. I think it's about $30.
It just came out for console, so they just released a PlayStation 5 version, like I think in January or February. Mm-hmm. This has been out for PC since September of 2022. So
yeah, well, I ain't never heard of it. Well, because
I never heard of it. I mean, I've seen it before, but I never really bothered to look at it. They have actually. I'm looking at their Steam page right now, and they actually already announced Trail Out 2. They're working on Trail Out 2 at the moment. So, after having played this, I will definitely be picking up Trail Out 2 once they bring it to console. It looks like there's some Destruction Derby elements in this thing too, which is crazy. So, I love Destruction Derby 2 on the PlayStation 1. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot going on. So if you're looking for an arcade racer with a lot of different modes and just obscene levels of ridiculousness, I don't think you're not going to find anything better than Trail Out right now. So that's what I have been up to. So I am going to pass the mic to Mr. Jabroni, because he is going to be bringing you this episode's Jabroni Gaming News. All right, bro, you got it.
You got it. Thank you, Kev. Thank you. So, all right, first thing I want to talk about, GDC just happened this past week in San Francisco. game developers conference, and Microsoft was kind of in the front, giving out some keynotes and whatnot. That they had a couple of meetings on there, and they went over basically the Project Helix specs. They finally revealed to the world. It's long been rumored that they're working on a combination console/PC platform on here. And so they had Jason Ronald, the vice president of next generation Xbox, whatever next generation is. So, but they're saying that Helix will be powered by a custom AMD system on the chip with next gen ray tracing performance. So they basically announced too that there is a significant magnitude increase in ray tracing performance beyond what's currently possible with the Xbox Series X and S. They said that development kits will be sent out to developers in 2027 on here. They also stated that they are bringing Xbox mode to Windows 11 starting next month. And basically, they're adding features to bring Xbox software to Windows. So after that, I was pretty happy because of that announcement, even though, it's been coming for a while on this, because of the fact that I might be able to access my Xbox library. I have abandoned the Xbox on the console side, but if I could play, some Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon, name an Xbox 360 game in the mix on there, and obviously it's something to where if you do have a Windows PC with Windows 11 on there, you might have a Xbox platform to access. So this is kind of spelling everything out as far as what's going on with this project. We'll have to see as far as the actual machine itself. I know I was listening to Moore's Law is Dead, and they were estimating based on the components in the machine that's going to cost around, I think, $900 to $1,200 for the platform once it comes out next year. And so we'll have to see as far as how things roll out. I'm really curious about the back compat stuff with Xbox in particular, and especially this Xbox mode in Windows 11. So I'll be keeping an eye out for this on that. And also too, I didn't put in the outline, but they're bringing Copilot to Xbox platforms as well, including this.
No,
Xbox.
really?
Yep, they are bringing Copilot. So they're bringing AI.
Well, look who they've got running Xbox now. You know that was going to happen. And look who's running Microsoft right now.
AI. So, but yeah, I'm not sure what the Copilot AI is going to do for gaming. Obviously, I'm stuck on this level. What can I do? You're going to have the AI complete the level for you, complete all your trophies. I don't know. So I'll have to see what kind of integration it involves. Obviously, a lot of people were just groaning after they saw that they're bringing Copilot to Xbox. But it is what it is on that aspect of it. So, any thoughts, Kev, on this? I know that I don't know if you've been paying attention to the keynote and as far as what they're talking about, but at least they let it out of the door. At least I'm just hoping they have more games than what was on the Series X and S as far as back compat is concerned. I hope they open up the keys to the library if need be.
I have to ask this question because I think, particularly in light of what folks were trying to say when the PS5 Pro came out, I don't know who this is for, and I mean that in all sincerity. It's like, if you're already a PC gamer, you're already used to upgrading your CPUs, your GPU, your RAM, and all that stuff. I don't see them buying this because they're already in the de-walled garden, for lack of a better term, right? They're already out in the wild, wild west where there's no limitations on hardware. The only limitation to your hardware is the amount of money in your bank account. Okay. Then you tell me that you're going to bring the Helix experience to Windows 11. So I don't see how that's going to happen because we've already seen that. Not to say that things can't improve, but we've already seen how that's going with the ROG Ally X and S, and that experience is trash. It's like there are people that are taking their ROGs and selling them back because they don't like that, or they're going with handheld gaming PCs that do a better job of suppressing the Windows kernel because it's not good. It gives you the same problems you're going to have in desktop mode are the same problems people are running into with the ROG Ally. So we've got that going on. Not only that, if this thing you're bringing in Steam, you're adding Steam into the equation. Most PC gamers are on Steam, which means that every game that Microsoft releases, they're not going to buy it on the Microsoft store. They're just going to buy it on the Steam store when they could already do that with the PC that they have.
I'll be curious to see if Microsoft decides to basically just make their titles on PC only on their platform.
They can't afford to do that.
I'll have to see what happens. You know,
they can't afford to do that.
What I was thinking is that, especially with the Project Helix and whatnot, is that it's kind of coming in at the same kind of angle as Steam is coming in with the Steam machine, meaning that they're trying to bring people to the PC platform. So, and then they're trying to basically bait everyone with the fact that, hey, we got Steam, we got the Epic Game Store, you know, we got GOG over here. So it's maybe something to where a gamer that necessarily is not in the PC marketplace right now and doesn't want to take the time to manufacture their own or build their own PC or buy a pre-built PC. It's like, you know, you're going to get your Steam machine for, you know, whatever price it's going to come out with, and you're going to get a more powerful box that Xbox is kind of rolling out with this Project Helix. Obviously, you know, they just got to execute on it. That's the main thing. So they could talk about this machine's going to have all the ray tracing and, you know, the powerful SoC and whatnot. I know watching Digital Foundry and talking about as far as what their interpretation of all this is, that this is going to be a great platform, but at the same time, especially with the DLSS and the AI upscaling that's available now, it seems like, you know, Project Helix and PlayStation 6 are kind of share the same kind of techniques and methods on there. And even though right now, as stated, the PS6 is supposed to be less powerful than the Project Helix, I think in the end, especially with the PSSR and other upscaling technologies, we might even not notice any difference between the two. So,
well, the Series X is more powerful than the base PS5 on paper, and we've seen how that worked out.
Yeah, I know, because the front end on the Series X is a little bit more bloated than the PlayStation is. So
yeah, because it has something to do with the unified RAM or something something with the RAM that they did with the Series X and S. But now it just seems like this is what I heard, and I can't remember where I heard this rumor from, but it actually makes a whole lot of sense to me, and I'm kind of believing it. They're suggesting that Microsoft is probably going to make 1 million units of this thing available once it releases, and they are just going to turn it all over to the OEMs. So then there'll be the Xbox One, there'll be the ROG One, there'll be the Asus version, there'll be the Alienware version. So the systems are going to be available, right? But Xbox themselves are only going to make a certain number of these things. And this is how they bow out of the console business and just basically let everybody else take over. We put our last one out there, and that's why it's not going to be subsidized in any way. They're going to say, look, it's going to be $1,200. I can see this thing being $1,200 easy. I don't know how you convince a console player to fork out that kind of money, but I mean, it's possible. I guess, maybe. But if you can't do something to suppress the problems that Windows is bringing to gaming right now, and I hear it from the shows that I listen to, man, they did this update 2 weeks ago and it broke my game. They did this other update and now something else in my gaming library is not working right. If they can't fix that, none of this stuff is going to matter. Because everything sounds like an overlay to me, like this Xbox experience is just going to be their version of big picture mode. If it doesn't address the bloatedness of Windows, none of this is going to make any difference. And are you going to tell me that somebody who wants a console experience is going to want to deal with the configurations and all this other stuff that you need to do because, I'm trying to play in Xbox mode, but Windows had an update and it broke something. And now you have someone who just wants to sit down with a controller. They got to bust out the mouse and keyboards and try to diagnose and fix what's going on. I just don't have any faith that Microsoft is going to put forth the effort to make Windows less bloated. It's obvious that Steam is working to bring people over to Linux-based. They want to bring you over to Linux-based systems, and everybody that games on Linux-based systems has said, if you take that ROG or whatever PC handheld that you're using and you yank Windows out and you put Linux in there and then you put Steam in there or Steam OS in there, it just runs so much faster. I've seen some of the tests on YouTube. It's curb stomping Windows right now. And if they come in with it at a lower price with less headache, I don't see how this really stands a chance. I mean, the only thing you'd be able to say is like, well, I don't want to build a PC and it's stronger than the Steam machine. It's like, yeah, okay, but
would this be something you would consider, Desmond?
No.
Oh, okay.
Xbox really hasn't done anything to impress me in a very long time. So if they were going to have to do something, it would have to be, like, I don't know. I'm more interested in the actual GameCube. I think that is just a better entry, and I think if you were really wanting to, if Xbox is really wanting people to fully be in their ecosystem, they wouldn't be. I mean, they wouldn't be putting. I should have to buy an Xbox to play Avowed. Literally one of my games of the year at this point. So, and the fact that they have not done that or made any kind of value proposition with the for the Xbox, then why would I do anything? Why would I buy any kind of console that has anything to do with an Xbox? Like I don't understand that, and making it and having it be like, oh well, you can also play your PC games. Well, I can do that because I own a PC as well. So it's like I don't understand. I'm just very confused by their model, by their their sales model and their pitch model about what they're trying to do. Because there are other people that are in this space that have been doing this a little bit better, and maybe there's a bit of hubris with them, thinking that, oh, this is what people want, and it's like, no, I want a reason to buy an Xbox. And just because you're saying, well, we were the best gaming system because we have the best specs, well, that's not enough. Games, as Kevin said multiple times, games sell systems, and I truly believe that. And I was fully prepared, and this is going to sound weird, but I was fully prepared to spend money on a this is going to sound weird, but I was fully prepared to spend money on an Xbox 360 in order to sorry, I'm going back to the better times. I was fully prepared to buy an Xbox in order to play Avowed, because I wanted to play the game that bad. But they just said, no problem, play it on the system you want to play it with, and there you go. And I'm like, once they told me that, I'm like, all right, deuces, So I have no need to buy anything else, from Xbox,
Yeah.
So as long as they're keeping their games on the PlayStation, I have no need to buy an Xbox. No need and no want. So yeah, I don't bye.
I mean, and that's what console gaming is about. Is you're supposed to be getting experiences that you can't get anywhere else.
Yep.
And now we've got these unconfirmed rumors that PlayStation is cutting back drastically, if not ending, their PC conversions for future games. Ghost of Yotei had a PC version ready to go. They canceled that.
Yeah, they're smart.
We already knew that a Gran Turismo 7 PC version was being worked on. They killed that. And I think it makes sense because you're going to have two PC based boxes fighting for space in your entertainment center. What is that going to do when you are primarily a hardware based company trying to get people to buy your hardware for the games that you make when they can get those same games on PC? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I think it was a good mark on them for not jumping feet first into day and date the way that Xbox did, even though I know we're in this world where Windows equals Xbox, but let's be honest, it's two different platforms. PC and console are different. They're like, okay, well, that's not going to make any sense. We want people to buy our stuff. You're going to make the next Gears on PlayStation. You're going to put the next Gears on the Xbox Helix, and you're also going to put the next Gears make it available on Steam, as well as the Microsoft Store, which you have had years to do something about the user interface of that Microsoft Store, and you have yet, to my knowledge, done anything to address that.
It's trash. It's straight ass trash. I remember using PC Game Pass and trying to download stuff off of PC Game Pass, in particular with their app. The Microsoft application for the said PC game had lesser graphical capabilities. It's not the same version that's on Steam. So it's just kind of crazy to think that I'm going to be able to play a PC game on my PC, Microsoft Studios game where, obviously, or even a non-Microsoft Studios game if I'm using PC Game Pass, where, I'm missing ray tracing, or I'm missing certain features in my PC game if I decide to buy it off the Microsoft Store. The Microsoft Store's version has to get updated separately from the Steam version. So it's just, it's been redundant for a while for that. And I'm hoping this will, if they make any gains in that area, I think it would be to their betterment as far as a company, but we'll have to see. It's always AI business, just like TV now, in the past. So it's
and I also have one last question. If you've got most of your Xbox 360 library on disc, how are you going to play them?
Not going to be able to. You have to rip the disk and be able to go and use an emulator on your PC, just like you would normally do if you're like, looking for emulation solutions versus, getting the Windows 11 business. When I was part of the Xbox ecosystem, I did a lot of remember with the games with gold and that kind of thing. So I do have a good considerable amount of like Xbox games, licenses for Xbox games in my back catalog at least. And I'm pretty sure most of the games, at least the first party games, would be available in Game Pass just in case you decide to subscribe to it or see what's up with it.
But they're on disc, right? So I got this expansive library of Xbox 360 games, all my
I don't think there's
all
going to be
them games,
to that.
Halo 2s, all that stuff is on disc.
Yeah.
This thing is not going to have a disc drive.
How
in the hell am I going to play them?
I got a system for you. It's an Xbox 360. So
yeah, as like John Q console player, now I got to install an emulator on my console.
No, you don't necessarily have to. I'm saying the emulator would be if you decide to go that route. But the Windows 11 / Xbox mode, it's just going to be digital only. So they haven't really clarified it yet. But I'm almost like a 99.9% sure that is going to be the case. So pretty much, same thing with PlayStation. If you decide to like get a PS6 that's discless, obviously. I'm hoping that they will continue to offer the separate disk drive just in case to support physical media. I'm really curious about the PS6 handheld as far as how they're going to handle the whole license thing. Right now with the Portal, basically I'd have to have the actual physical disc in my PlayStation when I'm playing remotely to prove that I own the game before I could boot it up, basically. So. On there. So I either have to connect remotely to my PlayStation to be able to play through the cloud that way. If I'm trying to basically not play from my PS5 streaming, but just to play the cloud server based version, I cannot, like say I own Borderlands 4 on disc, so I cannot per se, if they did support to play Borderlands 4 in the cloud on PlayStation device, I don't have access to it. So try to get people to buy digital nowadays, which pretty much leads to my next story here. Sony is testing dynamic pricing now on the PlayStation Store. So users in certain regions are being offered personalized discounts of up to 17%. So they basically are playing around with dynamic pricing, which is also known as surge pricing, which is a pricing strategy that sees businesses set flexible prices for products based on demand or a customer's unique purchase history. So the use of dynamic pricing has been criticized by some consumers and other industries for its perceived unfairness. So, for example, I know this is going to sound odd, but Wendy's was thinking about going to dynamic pricing. So they're going to charge more for those Wendy's hamburgers during lunchtime versus if you went there at 3 p.m. or something to go get your Frosty fix and go get a Dave's Double or whatnot. So this is the same kind of principle for the PlayStation Store. So the range of discounts, like say if Desmond lives like in San Francisco, he could see a 5% discount on like say Stellar Blade. But if I'm living in another part of the country, I could bring up Stellar Blade and I'm getting a 15% discount instead. So it just depends as far as how often I'm purchasing games. If I'm purchasing games all the time, they might not give me a good discount. They might try to put a little whipped cream and cherry on the top just in case if someone just buys like a handful of games, if need be, to be able to go ahead and entice them to buy more games digitally on the PSN store. So it says in the article too that Sony's been testing this for at least 3 months in 30 different regions on here, including Europe, Middle East, Asia, Latin America, and Africa on there. So I just love to see once, it goes to some sort of consumer like rights group and or, like maybe a government governmental functional look at this, because, you see all these class action lawsuits here, there, and everywhere. I just wish they would just keep it simple, just keep it straight. But,
I could just do a rewards program.
Yeah.
Like it rewards people that are spending money in your store, and you can even entice people who don't spend a whole lot of money to similar discounts.
Yeah.
But you want to give the people that are spending money, make sure that they're appreciated, because it's like this whole thing is like, if I'm not spending any money, that would be like Steam sending me like 30% discount codes in my email. It's like the only time I see y'all is when you have a winter sale, a summer sale, or where I can get games for $1. I'm not trying to run Resident Evil 9 on my mini PC. So I'm not as enticed to spend that money as I am on one of the console storefronts.
Yeah.
So I understand it. I get it. It's a way to drum up business, but it also kind of neglects the people that are spending the most amount of money in your marketplace too.
Well, right now too, they did state that right now they're not really doing the full rollout of this. They are basically putting people in random control or test groups, and I don't know what criteria they're using to put you in a particular control or test group. I know this is not out in the U.S. Otherwise, I might have some sort of point of reference to be able to point out to this. But, it's kind of funny that they're just testing it right now. I'm just hoping that they decide not to move forward with this. What do you think about this, Des? Do you think it's just kind of odd for them to throw dynamic pricing into the mix?
I think it's bad for business, and it while it encourages people to spend money, it also discourages people from spending money. I heard that they could basically stop, because I'm a person that goes to the sales, and I like the sales. I'll purchase games on the sales, but if it's going to, stop me from getting those deals, then it's terrible and it's horrible, and I don't think that they should really do it. And I'm more for with Kevin saying, hey, here's a $5, like Best Buy does it. Here's a $5 gift card to buy something.
Yeah.
I'd rather them do something like that to get people to buy stuff than doing some kind of janky ass, pricing increase. That's just annoying to me, and it's very short sighted as well. And I think it does a lot more harm than it does good.
And the whole thing for me too is where else can you go to buy digital games for PlayStation? They locked down the key resellers. You can't get PlayStation Plus cards in stores anymore, and it's been like that for the last couple of years at least. And so it's basically you just got to go through PSN or nothing at all. You don't have basically the ability to be able to go and shop anywhere else per se. Usually you go to retailers like Walmart or Target or whatnot. They're selling codes on Switch. They sell digital codes on Switch, but they pretty much kiboshed selling digital codes, at least for first-party games, at any retail outlets. So it's not like you could shop around per se. So there should be a good minders of their storefront, and just keep it simple and keep it straight. So,
agreed.
All right. Next thing I want to talk about is this happened a few weeks ago, not years ago. Basically, but Evo has been bought out. So
again,
yes, this happened basically at the end of February. A consortium, a company out of Saudi Arabia, has purchased Evo in full on here. So the Qiddiya investment company QIC has completed its acquisition of Evo. Basically, they have stated that they're insisting that Evo's traditions, values, and identity will remain unchanged under its new parent company. The statement posted to Evo's website now has the acquisition is completed. The organization said it will stage major international events in Tokyo, Las Vegas, and Nice, France later this year. There's been rumors of other areas as far as getting Evo tournaments in 2028 or 2027, excuse me, on there, including other venues like in Saudi Arabia and other parts of the world that they're also going to have Evo events as well. So I know, Kevin, you've been paying attention to this a little bit more. I don't know what your overall feeling on this is. I don't know if Evo's going to be the same moving forward, in my opinion. What do you think?
So I've been kind of listening to people who are like not just competitors, but what's the term that I want to use? They're like actively travel. You know, people like dudes like Mena RD or Punk or those guys that actually go out and travel and they go and compete, and that's how they earn their living. And one of them I can't remember who it was, said something that made a lot of sense, and it was an aspect of this that I hadn't even thought of. He's like, okay, so let's say that you're, fighting tournament, you sponsor Fighting Tournament X, right? And Fighting Tournament X takes place every year in, let's just say, whatever, California. And
San Jose.
You're in, San Jose, California. You're small. You started out with like a couple of screens and a handful of PCs or whatever.
And a dream.
You in a dream, and it's out in which is how Evo started. It literally started out in somebody's garage. And you've grown and you've got this organic growth, and you're this local, and you're bringing in vendors, and people are starting to sell food. So you're starting to grow, right? And you think, man, in another year, in another 2 years, man, we're really gonna be able to make our mark in the FGC as a well sought out local. Your streams are going well, cool. Here comes Evo with a boatload of Ebenezer Scrooge McDuck money, and now they've got Evo San Jose, Evo Los Angeles, Evo this. And I mean, I'm just throwing these places because now the number of Evo events in a year have just exploded. So you're going to have Evos in multiple different places where they weren't before, but they're also falling on those calendar dates where you, as Mr. Small Time Tournament hoster, have always held. Now, are you going to get competitors? Are you going to get people to back your organization now that Evo is held the same day, held the same week? If I'm a competitor, I'm going to go with Evo because that's where the bigger payout's going to be, right? I'm not going to Fighting Tournament X. I can't. It doesn't make financial sense at that point. So this is a way, and he made this. I felt that it was a really cogent point. This is a way to bring the entire fighting game scene under the Evo umbrella. You're not even having to buy these smaller guys. All you have to do is put your event in the same week, in the same month, for that example. A lot of people don't have the funds, are not sponsored to travel to 2 or more events a month. They got a full-time job. They've got other responsibilities that they need to do. And if you're a vendor if you're selling controllers, if you're selling fight sticks, if you're selling, art, if you're selling whatever, anything that is fighting game adjacent or gaming adjacent, are you going to go to Fighting Tournament X? I mean, maybe you went there maybe you've gone there every 2 years or so because the distance isn't that far for you. The booth rental rates are decent, and you did pretty well each time you went. But now Evo's there is a week away, is within that same week. They're going to have more people. They're going to be more competitive in the booth rental. Maybe not so much in the pricing, but maybe you get a much bigger space for a little bit more than what you were spending at Tournament X. You're going to go there.
Yeah.
So, and I'm in full agreement. It's like, this is not good. This is the start, or this is the announcement of a fighting tournament monopoly, and it's going to be incumbent. And at first, I really wasn't seeing the reasoning behind, like, dudes like Maximilian Dude and a couple others who were saying, like, yeah, I hope Evo does well, but I'm not going to be, traveling and supporting it the way I've done in years past. And I was always like, is it a political viewpoint because of the Saudi royal family and their stance on certain social issues? What's the deal? And it really wasn't until this guy kind of spilled it out. He said, it's your locals that are going to suffer because nobody's going to go to them. They're just going to go to the Evo for that time frame. And it's going to really crush these smaller grassroots local organizations because everybody's going to go to the Evo and nobody's going to go there. So the FGC really has to be, it's incumbent on us as those who are fans of fighting games, like watching fighting games, enjoy going to the fighting game conventions or events. It's going to be incumbent for us to speak with their wallet and be willing to bypass Evo, that Evo that's never been in a certain place before, and go to your local event.
I mean, for me at least, I don't know if I want to go to Evo this year, especially next year. No, I mean, I know some people were commenting, at least on Reddit, they're basically commenting, stating that you need to support your locals any way you can, basically. So, and they're saying
I don't even know where a local is here, and I don't even know if Fresno has a local.
I
think so.
I don't think so, but I think there might be just a small group of players that actually play. And me, I'm not playing right now, so it's not like
yeah, me
I would
either.
just go to watch or whatever. I know they have like certain things in San Jose. I saw that there was an app that just was introduced in the Bay Area to basically bring up the app, and you're able to see if there's any FGC events or get-togethers going on in the Bay Area, basically. So it's kind of cool that there is an actual Android and iOS app for that. So, but maybe for future years, I don't know, maybe I'll just go to Combo Breaker or another tournament, a smaller tournament that maybe doesn't have the prominence of Evo, but still has the same kind of energy, maybe the kind of grassroots energy per se. So
yeah, I mean, but see, there's another side of the coin. Because if you're somebody, who maybe lives in South America and your only options have just been flying to Las Vegas or flying to Japan, and you find out that there's actually going to be an Evo not only in your country, but in your city that has never been there before, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
And you could be somebody in the States who just doesn't have the funds or the time to take a week off work to fly out to Las Vegas. Now you find out that after this acquisition, you're going to have an Evo within, let's say, for example, an hour's drive. That's a day trip, bro.
yeah. I was looking at the Resetera thread for this, and there were some users that were out of Brazil because it's rumored that they're going to have an Evo Brazil in 2027. that they're like happy as
Yeah.
hell that they're going to have
Yeah.
a Evo event in their country.
Yeah, they don't have to fly halfway across the world to attend.
Yeah.
So I see it both ways. I get it. I understand it. But I don't know. It's like I think folks are just going to have to like, if possible, I'm going to go this year because I love it. But you know, I definitely see where folks are going to have to just make a decision as to whether they're going to support, the big corpo. And I have no problem, no issue with the quote unquote big corpo because, man, you find some deals on fight sticks, and gaming accessories that you just not going to get just ordering online. You're not paying for shipping. I guess if you're in Las Vegas, I don't even know if they have sales tax in Las Vegas. You're paying a much lower sales tax than you do definitely where we live. There are benefits to waiting to get to get that next thing that you're looking to acquire for your hobby and just going to Evo and getting it there. It's more than just, the tournament, at least for me. And the shirts and the stickers and the number of vendors available. You're not going to find that at a smaller local. You're not going to, I'm not saying that they're not going to do it, but I'm not seeing Hitbox coming up to Tournament X and having some stuff available there for you to buy. Fewer people. They're not going to make any money, and the amount of money it's going to take to travel and take all their stuff, it's just not going to make financial sense.
Yeah. It's like the difference of going, like, say, if you're an anime fan, you're going to go to, like, in Fresno this weekend, they had an anime convention. It's like night and day between, like, going to a mom and pop, like, anime convention in your local town versus going to Anime Expo or something,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's way different. So we'll have to see, kind of see how it goes with Evo. And, people obviously have issues with the Saudi Arabian government too, but that's a whole other thing in a nutshell too. So, All right. Got some release dates and announcements to kind of go over. Invincible Versus is getting an open beta coming up. I think you're probably excited for this, Kev. It's coming out. Open beta test is from April 9th to 11th. On there, and they're adding Alan the Alien to the roster of playable characters for the game. So, on this, are you excited for this, Kev? I haven't really been paying attention to it all that much. So,
I am. Me and EJ had a chance to play it at Evo last year, and this game is a blast. It's like Mortal Kombat without the ridiculous back forward motions. And having to memorize fatalities, because if you end the round with a special move, it's by default a fatality.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Are you interested in this at all, Des? Because I know you like Invincible as far as the comic and the anime as well. So
I'm definitely interested in it. I'm just gonna have to play it at your house.
It depends if I actually buy. We'll have to go and play at Kev's house as well.
There you go.
So.
Yeah, I'll definitely be getting it.
Yeah, it's going to be out April 30th for everything under the sun, including PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. It's even going to be on the Microsoft Store. Woohoo! All right.
It's coming out for Switch, right?
Nope. No Switch version.
Well, not everything under the sun, sir.
Guess what? Take that device out of your hand and go plant yourself in front of the TV and get a real console and play something. Wait.
Let me hush. Go ahead, Joe.
Damn. Nah. Also, remember we talked about last episode Marvel Maximum Collection. It actually has a release date, so they're launching it digitally on March the 27th. So I guess they didn't really have to work because it's just a bunch of ROMs and in an application, but they're also opening up physical pre-orders on Limited Run's website on the same date as well. So on there, and this just to refresh your memory, if just in case you didn't listen last week or last episode, I should say, this includes X-Men the arcade game, Captain America and the Avengers, both arcade, Sega Genesis, and Super NES versions, and a bunch of other games like acclaimed Spider-Man games that I don't even want to look at, much less play. So, even though I know you probably enjoy Maximum Carnage, Kev, so I don't want to throw any shade about that.
No, it's a bad game, and I was when that game came out, I was actively reading comics back then. And I really was enjoying the Carnage storyline, and like that was like my favorite comic book series or line. I can't remember, was it Amazing? I can't remember if it was Amazing Spider-Man or just Spider-Man, or I still have the books somewhere. I really enjoyed that story arc for Spider-Man, and when this game came out, I just like, it's going to be like playing the comic book. And I think it was more my own hype that made me enjoy those games than the actual quality of the game itself, because this is Acclaim we're talking about.
Yeah.
If trash ass developer had a name in the dictionary, it would have Acclaim next to it. They were horrible. Horrible.
I don't know if you guys know, but Acclaim actually is publishing now. Someone bought the name and are publishing new games under that label, under that publishing label. So
that is not something I would be touting. To me, I mean, unless this was bought by someone, you know how they do like bar refurb, have Gordon Ramsay show up and show you how to do a restaurant right. Unless it's going to be turned into like, have some retired or super successful developer just like come in and do a reality show, or we're going to turn Acclaim around. I don't see how.
This is an entirely new company that just basically took the Acclaim name and threw it on the front, basically.
Yeah, I'm like, no, that legacy should be avoided at all costs.
Well, and one of the investors in the new Acclaim is Jeff Jarrett, the noted wrestler.
Okay. Well, money is money. So that doesn't really mean anything. Yeah. But is this guy really going to really understand what gaming quality is about?
No, probably not.
No, but he's looking at numbers,
investments.
And the books need to balance. That's all he cares about, and the profits need to be there.
And there is equity in the name, so good or bad. So they're gonna hopefully do better, but I don't think so. Only time will tell, right?
That's like coming out. That's like saying, being in the automotive industry and saying we bought the name of Yugo and we're bringing Yugo back. It's like, nah. Let's just leave that where it is.
Yeah.
Imagine if they bring out a new like AMC Pacer or something, and it's like.
Well, so the Pacer, the Gremlin was trash. That was a trash vehicle. But then they had like other AMC had like other vehicles in the muscle arena that weren't too bad. I mean, from a quality wise, it probably wasn't the same quality as like a Mustang or a Camaro, but they had a couple that were hot when they were running. They were fast, so. Even AMC Pacer had its good points, but
maybe the new Acclaim will have its good points as well.
We can only hope.
And then I have one last news story. This is a Jabroni Gaming News Greatest Hits news article, release article. It's another article about Starfield PS5, people. So guess what? Starfield PS5 is finally going to get announced for the PlayStation 5. It is coming out on April the 7th. It's rumored right now, but there is a post on the Starfield Bethesda social media accounts that Todd Howard has something to say about Starfield coming up this week. So, so it already popped up on a couple of storefronts, at least in the European, like one in Poland and one in another country in Romania. That they actually have physical versions of Starfield for PS5, actually. So the release date's going to be April the 7th. It's coming from the Reliable Deals Lab, which pretty much is the same leaker that puts out all the like PSN stuff, like the PlayStation Plus game leaks prior. And so we'll have to see what comes about this. I know I've kicked it over to you, Des, and you said, no, I'm not touching Starfield with a 10-foot pole. But I just figured I want to mention it because this is the last time we talk about Starfield for PS5.
So I'm pretty like, I don't need to. I'm all good.
You don't want those loading screens on your console, Dennis?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
And that is the Jabroni Gaming News for this fine episode.
All right. Game night takes place every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. That is the day and time that we set aside to play games with our growing Discord community. So if you like what you heard on on our episodes and you feel like, hey, I'd like to join you guys for a game night, all you have to do is hit up our Discord, post the game that you're interested in playing, and not only us, but other members of our Discord community would be more than happy to join you on said game night. But you might be asking, well, how do I join the Discord? That's easy enough, too. All you do is head over to the app formerly known as Twitter, currently known as X, or Blue Sky. And head on over to @GamingVessels, GamingVessels. You click the link in the bio, and you're in. We don't have any Patreon merch or Patreon tier list to pay for. Got no merch to hawk to you. We just ask that you be a decent human being, likes talking about, discussing, debating, and playing video games. And I think you will have a happy joy time aboard the good ship Gaming Vessel. So that is going to bring episode 302 to a close. I want to thank y'all for hanging out, cooling out, chilling out, without a doubt, this week. So for Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the High Res Lover.
That's me.
A.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. That Gamer Stepdaddy. And for Trader Joe, a.k.a. Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of Gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. I am Shonuff71, a.k.a. Digadulamite.
Purple bling bling, y'all.
And we'll be back next time, episode 303 for your ear holes. Peace.